Hi everyone. Today I'll walk you through Algochurn, which is a free platform where you could practice your front end and data structures and algorithm skills before a technical interview round. So, talking about Algochurn, it is a free platform where we have a list of front end technical interview machine coding questions, which are being asked in big MNCs, Silicon Valley companies, and big technical Indian startups. So, to give you a brief of the platform, let's go ahead and click on this front end interview button, which will take us to the front end page. Here, if you see, we have got a list of questions which are asked in technical rounds these days. Also, we've got a tabular view if you're more comfortable with that. And we have a list of really good questions which test you on React skills, particularly. And it tests all the edge cases and all the concepts which are there in React, which ranges from state management to context API to handling events and higher order components, etc. Also, we've got a difficulty level at the top, so you could select easy, medium, or hard. Click on it and the filters goes off. If you're new to Algochurn, I'll really suggest you to go through easy problems first, and once you're comfortable with easy problems, you could go to the medium and hard ones. That's how you navigate to problems. So let's say we want to practice one question, which is, let's say, form validation. Click on form validation and it will take you to the editor page. So to give you a brief about the editors page, on one side you have the question description, which will tell you what the question is all about. And on the left hand side, you have the editor. This is the React code editor. It is a StackBlitz embed and it has a boilerplate on top. So this is your playground. So you'll be given this window, particularly this one, and you'll be asked to code out a snippet. And to confirm it, let's say I copy paste something and I write practice. So you'll see at the right end in the preview tab, you can see the data being reflected. So that's one use case of how to use this editor. And on the right hand side, if you see, you've got the question description. So also at the top you see this time, right? So I'd really suggest go ahead and click it once you start coding it, because technical interviews are time based and you'll be given a time interval in which you need to solve that problem. Now if you practice it in that real world environment, right, you'll be able to efficiently code in the actual interview as well. Moving on, you'll see the question and the description, and along with that, you'll have user stories. So the interviewer might ask you to fulfill those user stories, like create a form component. It should have all these 5 fields, and once you register, it should handle the validations and all those things. So all these things come under user stories, and while coding you need to take care of these user stories. So since you've started the timer already, at the bottom, if you're stuck anywhere in your code, right, you can always go ahead and click on these hints to reveal them. And these are some valuable hints that the interviewer might supply to you, or you could go ahead and click it yourself if you're on Algochurn. Ideally, in a technical interview, the interviewer will help you and try to give you hints if he feels that you're stuck somewhere. So to mimic that, you could go ahead and click on the reveal hint button, and it will give you a smaller hint before you move on to the solution. Also, if you click on this file icon here, you can always go ahead and create components or create files. Also, you can install some packages if you want. Let's say if you want to add Axios to the project, you could go ahead and click on enter and Axios will be installed. So that's one part of it. Other part is, so you're done with the boilerplate now. If you want to check the solution and run through it, you've got a solution tab, and the solution will have the relevant solution for that problem. Let's say we have got form validation component here, and if you click on register, it validates. So the work is being done, and this is the solution that is correct and which is accepted also. We've also got one more than one solutions in many cases, because there are various ways to approach a problem. So if a solution is better, we'll mark it as better and it will be visible here at the top of the tab section. Other thing is that if you're stuck somewhere and if you need some video tutorials on that, we've got a resources tab. If you click on any of the resources, you'll be redirected to that YouTube video, and basically you could go there and have a watch there and come back and solve the problem again. So that's one way of dealing with it. Also, if you see, this window is quite small and you might not be comfortable working in a small window. So what you could do is you could hide this description panel and you'll get the entire window wherein you could code and basically have more room and more space to work around. So that's something about Algochurn. and we've got various other problems in Algochurn's front end domain. Let's say we've got multiple filters, command palette. So if you're familiar with command palette, it's you'll be familiar. It is there on the Tailwind CSS's website. So to give you a small idea of how it works, if you click Command K, the palette comes down, and if you navigate, you could always go and click Enter, and it'll navigate to different screens. So that's one use of it, and this is one other problem which is being asked in technical interviews. So that's something about the front end domain of this website. Let's talk about the coding interview preparation, where people basically technical interviews have those data structures and algorithms. And this is a work in progress. And we've got a list of questions which are being actively asked. So we won't have each and everything up down here, because lead code is the best place to get a lot of questions if you have a lot of time to practice. But if you have a limited number of days before your technical interview round, let's say you've got 1 week or 2 week, and you want to practice all the popular questions which are being asked, which have some pattern associated, let's say sliding window or two pointer approaches, the Algochurn's problems domain is the right way to go about it. We've got a list of questions, very popular questions which are asked in technical interview rounds, and it ranges from dynamic programming to trees and tree traversals and recursions and whatnot. So let's say we want to solve this minimum number of coins to make change problem. So click on it. It's a similar set of environment that you see, and you see on one side you've got the boilerplate. Again, I'd suggest go ahead and start the timer, and then you're ready to solve the problem. And once you click on run, you can always see that the terminal returns whatever you have in there. Let's say I want to console log buy now, and if I click on run, it'll run and it'll output on the console. One good thing about this is if you refresh it, you'll get the boilerplate back again. But if you want to save the code, let's say right now it is high, but I want to write buy, and I save it. So once you come back and see you've saved your solution, let's say I save it and I refresh it, your saved solution will be here. Also, you got this syntax highlighting also there, IntelliSense is also there, and we have also integrated Prettier. So if you save this, the code will be automatically formatted. So that's one way of going about it. And also, if you like the problem, you could always click on like, and the question will be liked. Right now, I have particularly marked this question as completed, but if I don't mark it as completed and I again mark it, it will be added to my completed questions list. Also, you could go ahead and bookmark this question if you want to read it any further. So this is the boilerplate part of it. Now, if you go to the solutions and if you haven't saved it, it will give you a pop-up like all your progress will be lost. So what you can do is you can come and save this. I saved it and I go to the solutions tab. So this is the solution that I have to that specific problem. So every solution, every question will have a set of solutions, more than one in some cases, actually in many cases, and you'll have at least one solution to a problem here. So if you click on run, it will give you the output, which is the desired one. You could always come and choose test cases. Also, if you're stuck, you could always come again and click to reveal hints. Similar to the front end churn domain, you've got the resources here. So if you want to have some video tutorials on this specific problems, you've got list of video tutorials here. Now, the main part about Algochurn is the solution that comes with it. So you have the code already, but for the solution, but also if you want to have a look at the algorithm which is being followed, so the solutions tab is your go-to place. You could scroll through this solution, and if you want a more expanded solution, you could click on this expand solutions tab, and it will take you to a separate page where we have explained the solution in a lot better terms. Also, you have got this terminal here we could work with. Great. So that's a little bit about coding interview parts. There are a lot more things. Again, you could toggle the pane to switch between the editor and the description. Also, you could have your profile section wherein you have all the liked question, bookmarked question, completed question, and saved questions. All these you could come back and refer to if you want to practice them any further. So that's a little bit about Algochurn. If you're practicing on Algochurn, I'd really suggest to follow a time-based approach, because technical interviews are always time-bound. And once you're comfortable with timings, I think you'll be a lot more confident in the front-end technical interview rounds. And if you practice all these questions, you'll be in a lot better position, because you'll be comfortable with most of the questions that are being asked in technical interview rounds. So that's a little bit about Algochurn. If you find this platform helpful, do share it with your peer groups. And I wish you all the best for your coming technical interview rounds. Good luck.